Welcome, Commissioner Smit. It's really a pleasure to have you in our conference on Skills for Health, and I'm delighted to be able to ask a few questions to you. So my first questions is on, in your view, what are the biggest challenges that you see for the coming year or for the coming 2 to 3 years? And how do you see that the EU skills agenda is able to address some of these challenges?
Well, first, thank you. I'm very happy to be able to participate indirectly to your conference, especially at this moment where health is our first priority. Now, I would say that we are in midst of really very deep transformation in our economies, but also at a broader level in our societies. In our economies, we see that traditional sectors are losing and new sectors coming up, but there is also major changes in other sectors, in the industrial sector, but also in services. And all that is due to the digital revolution. The digital revolution is everywhere. It's in industry, it's in services, it transforms a lot of our jobs, a lot of the ways how we work, the ways how we communicate. All this is heavily impacted. On the other hand, you know that the Commission is emphasizing a lot the Green Deal, and because we are all aware that also there we have to rebuild our economies to make them compatible with zero carbon emission. And that will have a big impact also on jobs, on the way we produce, on mobility will change. Now electric cars are considered to be the future in mobility. And therefore, I think to face these transformations, to make this digital or green transformations an opportunity, there is only one way. We have to invest a lot in people's skills. We have now a situation where still in Europe, about 40% of people have no digital skills or very low level of digital skills. And this has to be changed. And this has to be changed very rapidly, because the skills revolution, as the World Economic Forum called it, well, is going with an incredible speed. And that's why the Commission has put forward this skills agenda to make first Europe competitive, because we cannot miss these revolutions, these technical revolutions, but also in a way to make it fair. We want everybody to be able to participate into this revolution and to make our societies more resilient. And I think a higher level of skills, the capacity to be reskilled and upskilled is for every individual, and certainly a constraint, but also a big opportunity. And this is what the skills agenda is all about. Just to take your sector, there is a lot of things happening in the medical, in the health sector. Technology is going very fast. If you are a nurse today, well, you have to learn a lot of new technologies. If you are a radiologist, well, you will be in competition with artificial intelligence, but artificial intelligence will not replace you. You have to adapt your role to the technical changes. We have seen also now with the pandemic, the importance of research And here I think we have to train a lot of young people in these new sectors, biomedicine, all the developments which have taken place now and which hopefully allow us to respond very efficiently and rapidly, exceptionally rapidly to this pandemic. So I think skills are now becoming one of the engines of our economic development, but also of our social development, because they offer new opportunities for people. They help people to change jobs. They make out of mobility on the labor market a new opportunity. And therefore, we have emphasized a lot this skills agenda. We have, by the way, now agreed on a pact for skills, which associate hundreds or hopefully thousands of companies, of sectors joining in there to promote skill strategies in the different areas. So I think it's just the right response to extremely important changes.
Thanks for that, and also for mentioning the Pact for Skills. And I'm happy to say that EuroHealthNet also joined the Pact for Skills, and we are happy to work with you in the coming years on this. I was intrigued with one of the action areas of the skills for the EU Skills Agenda, which is on skills for life. And this is potentially important for health and well-being, and I'm thinking of health literacy skills. But I was wondering, what does it mean for you, skills for life? And how will the Commission how are you able to support people in equitable ways to learn these skills for life?
Well, we have now talked a lot about digital skills, or how we can give new opportunities to train people in science and in a lot of other areas. But skills for life means also to help people in a way to have a better life, and to be able also to understand the world which is around them. Because it's one thing to have a lot of technical skills, and on the other hand, we need also to give people the right tools to understand what's going on in our society. What finally also the precautions they have to take to have a healthier life. This is part of that. So I think this is in a way a culture which we have to promote, and which in a way helps people to have better lives, to understand better their surroundings, to understand also new technologies which are part of our life. And especially, we all know that we are confronted now with a lot of environmental impacts. We all want to have a more responsible behavior in terms of health, but also in terms of the environment. And I think these are parts of these are skills which everybody should be able to learn. We should start as early as possible with these skills for life, with small kids at all levels. And finally, we never will end learning. And this is the other big lesson. School is not just a few years in your life. School should be during your whole life, even after your professional life. And therefore, the culture of lifelong learning is extremely important. Today, we have a divide, especially also on digital skills, because a lot of elderly people, well, they are not able to follow the evolutions in the digital world. Though now, if you want to open a bank account or a lot of other services, you are obliged to know how to use basic digital skills. And therefore, opening all that, opening the possibilities of learning at all ages, is an important aspect. So when we are talking about active aging, healthy aging, this means also that we have to give people the knowledge, the capacity to understand what this means, to have better understanding of preventive action they can do. We are launching now a very important anti-cancer plan. And we all know that prevention is playing a very important role here. The way how you live, the way how you eat, all this is part of this Skills for Life. And I think this is a very high asset in everybody's life.
Yes, fantastic. That's very true. My question is then, we often see that if we offer these kind of solutions or trainings or lifelong learning opportunities, that it often intends to reach those people that are already open for these kind of opportunities. And we may not be able to reach those that need the most of these kind of initiatives. So what do you do, or what would you suggest you can do to make sure that everyone is indeed on board and that we do not leave anyone behind?
Well, this is, as I said, giving everybody the opportunity to learn and also to use the right tools to learn. In a way, it has never been as easy to acquire a lot of knowledge so easily, because we have all kinds of knowledge which is accessible to everybody. But on the other hand, we have to give people also this possibility, and also to open to have this opening and this open mind to learn. This is part of our educational system, because finally our educational systems have to be very much focused on how you learn and your open mind to acquire during your whole life new knowledge. That's finally I would say, the primary mission of a good education system. Certainly you have to get basic knowledge in math, in other areas, but the basic element you should transmit is the curiosity of people to learn during their whole life. And this should not stop with young people. It should also, we should have a large initiative to gain all people for that. We are unfortunately in a period of fake news, of all kinds of theories which are promoted, and that's also due partly to the media and the technological means everybody has now. And to give people the possibility to use this in an intelligent way and to understand how different systems work is extremely important. Now everybody is using internet, or a lot of people are using internet. They are using all kinds of Facebook and others. And what they never achieved finally is how to use it. and also a more critical approach to this new media. And this is an effort we really have to make, because the fact that people consider that what is on this media is absolutely true, this is a big, can become a big danger also in our societies. So I think now we have to invest a lot at school level, but also during the whole life to help people use this extraordinary means we have to learn during our whole life and to acquire a lot of knowledge quite easily. But the critical spirit is key.
Yes, thanks for that. A lot of what you have been saying also is in a way reflected by the European Pillar of Social Rights. And Principle 16 is on equal access to quality healthcare. And as we now have seen during COVID-19 pandemic, that reforms of health systems are very much important. You just talked about the importance of prevention and the cancer plan, and we would like to see a reform of health systems towards more prevention, towards community care, and so on. And how do you see the action plan of the social pillar and the EU skills agenda and the semester? All these instruments, how do you see these can be used for a reform of health systems?
The principle you are referring to guarantees to all European citizens a good access to quality healthcare. Unfortunately, all Europeans are not equal in that respect. Not everywhere we have an equal access to quality healthcare. Therefore, I think we have to work on a European health union. I think this is now, the pandemic has shown us that health is a central issue, and that a lot of issues, a lot of problems have to be dealt with, certainly at national level, local level, but also at European level. So I think this principle, we have to support it. And this can only be achieved, and you mentioned it, by reforming our health systems, but this means that we have to invest a lot in our health systems. And a health system is not a normal economic sector. You cannot easily calculate the returns, the financial returns of our health systems. So there is a different logic in a quality health system than just consider it in terms of financial returns. So this is a big challenge. We have seen that with the pandemic. We have seen the shortcomings, and in the forthcoming years, we have really to work on that to guarantee to all Europeans a good access, an equal access to quality health care. The same applies also to our care systems. The second point is, if we want to have a good health system, we need well-trained and well-skilled people. And we have to guarantee that our health systems, they need a lot of people. We are an aging society, by the way, but also technology is changing, as we said before, very much in the health system. So you need very qualified people there. And therefore, we need to invest in skills, in education, and also attracting. We have to guarantee a good level of attractiveness for these jobs, which are key jobs, as we have seen now. Nurses, people who are working in the care system, or doctors, or other people around the whole health systems. And that's working conditions in that respect are important. Lifelong learning, reskilling, upskilling, certainly very important, but also decent wages. And this is a question of how we value the work in a sector like health. I do not want to criticize this or that sector, but we have sectors in our economy where people are very, very well paid. For good reasons, maybe. I do not question that. And then we have sectors, we discover now that they are absolutely essential for our society, for the survival of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people. And finally, they are not very highly paid. They are really underpaid. And they are, especially now, taking a lot of risks for their own health. A lot have died even in the health sector. They have to get high qualifications, high competencies, learning a lot. They were obliged to learn on the spot about this virus nobody knew about. And they have very often tough working conditions because they are doing overtime, and sometimes even we have left them without the right equipment. And this is something we have to reflect on. The value of professions, the value of work in sectors like the health sector. And I think that this is something we all have to discuss. It's also the case, mobility. We have a strong mobility in this sector all over Europe. In some parts of Europe, people are better paid. In some other parts, they are really underpaid. What happens to these countries where finally they have no nurses or not many nurses anymore, or not many doctors? Who takes care of the population there? So I think this is a European dimension. It's a dimension of brain drain. It's a dimension of fairness. We come back to the equal right of all European citizens to have a good access to quality health care. So I think this will be a big issue for the coming years.
All of the issues that you mentioned, I mean, a lot of this, the power is in the member states. Do you think now that also with COVID-19, we have a bit of a momentum, or you have a bit of momentum to get the support of the member states for the activities and initiatives that you are proposing?
Well, I think, I hope so at least, that there is an awareness now on all these issues. Nobody can exclude that a next pandemic will happen. Maybe in 5 years, maybe in 10, nobody knows. Nobody expected what happened, and suddenly it happened. And therefore, I think we have to take the right conclusions out of this pandemic and reassess a bit the importance of, especially of our healthcare. I think this is something extremely important. Investing more in healthcare, certainly we have also to have a look at the efficiency in our healthcare systems. But at the end, it's the right of everybody to have quality care when we are confronted with health problems. And I hope that this will be a debate in member states. Citizens have now been very much mobilized on that. They are aware of these problems, and governments should listen to that. And certainly we will have also a debate at European level, because as I said, a lot has to be decided at national level, but Europe can play in many areas a very active role. And I hope, and I'm sure also with the president of the Commission, Europe is ready to play this role, and therefore she proposed this idea of a European Health Union.
Exactly, which we are very happy about. One last question to you, Commissioner Smit, if I may, and that is about the EU Skills Agenda again. I mean, it is really working towards the employability of people and making sure that they all have a job, which is very important for health and well-being. But we're also concerned about the qualities of jobs. And you just mentioned indeed the importance of having decent wages. There's a lot of in-work poverty, particularly now during the pandemic. We see that there's a lot of mental health problems with people because of poor quality of work. Next to the EU Skills Agenda, what do you do to make sure that indeed our jobs are of sufficient quality and satisfactory for people?
I spoke already about the working conditions of the jobs in the health and care sector. There will be, according to CEDEFOP, 3.2 million job openings in the health professions in the coming years, in the next 10 years. There will be close to 4 million in the care sector. We all know, on one hand, we have childcare, which is very indispensable, quality childcare. We need also there qualified persons, qualified people, and we are an aging society, and we have seen the key role of care institutions for elderly people. And I think that our society has to our societies have to fully take this into account. And we have to give opportunities to people to be trained in these professions and to make these professions attractive. So one aspect is, I mentioned it, decent wages. And here I think we have to have a good social dialogue. We have to have collective bargaining in all these sectors, where the wage setting is fair. And the wage setting has to take into account also the social importance, the societal importance of all these jobs. So in that sense, I think, and here we do not like to say that the pandemic has had positive aspects, because in fact it hadn't, but nevertheless, it helped us to improve our awareness and to have also some changes in the way we are dealing with jobs and orienting people towards certain categories of jobs, and especially job opportunities. And here health and care are absolutely key in the forthcoming years.
Thanks a lot, Commissioner Smit, for your time and for all of your insights. EuroHealthNet is really very keen to support this work further. And the conference, the participants and the speakers will now further discuss how they can take forward the skills agenda and how we can use it also for the health and well-being of the people in Europe. So thanks a lot, Commissioner.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.